minutes late, but I had good reason for it. I was trying to get everything prepared. You're probably going to hear the printer in the background. I have a lot of holiday stuff to get finished and working on my mother-in-law's gift right now, and we are going to paint one of my friend's gifts for this crafting chat. I even have to update the uh, title on this Twitch, so give me just a moment to get stuff together. I am sorry, I almost didn't even come today because I really, really need to get a lot of stuff done. I've been pulling supports off things and painting all day, but I am determined this weekend to get everybody's gift mailed out to them. I already got giveaway winners, their stuff, except for somebody who I told her I was mailing her stuff out at the end of the month, and I got you, girl, but I have to send that through a whole different mailing system. So it's a lot, but I plan to get stuff done. Thank you so much for the lurk, Solomon Isle. So let's get this done. And chat. Okay. News, politics, social issues, craft, and chat. Okay, and then we pick talk shows and podcast, and we're done with that. I'm going to get the quick word out, whether the chat fills up or not, whether you're lurking like my buddy Solomon or not. It is very busy. The holidays are 6 days away for us who celebrate Christmas. I've been making Hanukkah gifts for another friend. I have been busy as a mofo, and I know that's no excuse, but sorry, it is touch and go time. I want to make sure everybody gets their stuff on time, so I have been in go mode and still trying to keep hydrated at the same time. Oh, I've been rushing about like crazy too, so I am a bit flustered, but it is okay because we are going to get a lot done today, including this amazing Supergirl. That's what I meant to do really quick as well. I am just go, go, go. I've got to get the art reference. I just mailed it to myself because I'm coloring her like the photo on ArtStation that I found. So let me get this reference here, and then we are going to get Kara painted. This is a more classic Supergirl figure, which a friend of mine who this is for likes. She's also a character in my sci-fi novel, not Supergirl, but the being who's getting this. Please tell me I was not dumb enough to not. And I was. I did not attach the Supergirl reference to this email. But no worries. We will get this really quick because I really want to get this done. All right, here we go. Yep, this is the one. Perfect reference. Let me get the full thing because I'm going to try my best to copy the color scheme that this artist did for this render because it is very pretty. And I don't know how well I'm going to be able to do the eyes, but I am going to give it the college try because we hooked up our multi-load printer, and unfortunately for me, I am not really versed on how to do things 3D print other than my Alagoo. So it is a learning experience right now for me to get this multi-spool printer working the way I need to. But I'm going to learn, and I am going to make multicolor prints soon. But for now, what we are going to do is make this smaller. Oh my gosh. We're going to continue to paint in print in one color and then paint. I have a whole line of freaking Power Rangers for a friend that I've got to get done too. And the only reason why I'm saying that out loud is because I know she's not currently watching, so I'm not going to get busted. And it's for her, my niece, my nephew, as I call them. And for her husband, I've got a Superman figure that he is going to love too. So, like I said, been really busy, y'all. So, what we are going to do is get this fired up because it is the main title of this. We also got some stuff from Anonymous as well to drive home why Friday, the Epstein file release day, has been a shit show. Trump and his cronies are scrambling not to show certain things, and it's like, dude, we already know you're in deep. Stop this shit. Just release the files. Most of your followers are going to follow you no matter what you do, no matter how fucked up you are. But it doesn't seem to matter because they're still trying to scrub things. And this should tell anybody with a functioning lobe how guilty this fucker is, but some people don't care. So while I paint Kara, we're going to show you what set me off and what made me go, oh no, I legit have to go live while I paint because the shit's ridiculous. If any of you know the series The Hunger Games, which you probably have to be living under a rock, I like to say it stole from Battle Royale, which is one of my favorite versions of the story, where they take high school students and they pit them against each other for glory, but it's literally a death battle. But as you know, they had three, almost, I think there's a fourth one coming out. I don't know. I've never watched the movies. A fourth Hunger Games movie coming out, which is supposed to be like a prequel. Either way, it is a long-standing series. And the fact that this doofus wants to copy it without understanding the irony of that should just show people how deep in the weeds this shit goes. But I'm going to let them play it for themselves because it's bad enough we have people like the Kennedy Center kowtowing to this dictator. But now, in his own words, this is all allegedly his idea in quotations. Let's show you just how ridiculous things are getting with this Fox News report on his idea for the Patriot games.
Board votes to rename Washington's iconic Performing Arts Center to the Trump Kennedy Center. The White House making the announcement moments ago, citing the president's efforts to, quote, save the building. The Kennedy family has previously pushed back on the idea, with Maria Shriver saying a bill in Congress to rename the center was insane. Suzanne, as you like to, be unapologetic about your politics and all the things, so go ahead. Take it away.
You know, I actually might surprise people with this one. I think that this is a great move. I think this is another example of President Trump really...
Of course you do. Because nobody in the news right now wants to look like they're going against the dictator. It's not a great move. There's no reason to keep naming stuff after himself. This narcissist needs to be stopped like yesterday.
Reading the room. People don't want health care. They don't care that their ACA tax credits are set to expire because Mike Johnson can't be bothered to take it to a vote, even though we have them.
Wow. Okay, I take it back. She was being snarky. Sorry, I'm a little bit set off from stuff, so I might assume things about people. And when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. She's being snarky. She's understanding the assignment. I take back my snark.
The necessary votes. What people want is to see Trump's name all over everything, including the Epstein files. So I think this was an amazing move by President Trump. I fully support it.
I do think it is a little weird if you're going to rename something, to instead of renaming it fully, just adding yourself. Like, are they now
hyphenating?
They're married and they're hyphenating.
Yeah. I mean, I hear my girlfriends go through this all the time when they get married. Should we hyphenate? Should we not? Should the kids be hyphenated? So we're hyphenating Trump Kennedy. I mean, Suzanne put it in her perfectly Suzanne.
And that's creepy. Trump is not married to Kennedy, and no, I don't count Brainworms, who's working on his administration for the CDC and FDA of all things. So the fact that the Kennedy Center wants to hyphenate and rename itself, history is going to remember all of this crap.
Way. We have bigger fish to fry. We have bigger problems as Americans. So to have this be front and center and what everybody's going to be talking about, it's a tough pill to swallow right now.
The name's bipartisan. At least there's that.
You know what? That's true.
At least a little compromise on the name. Okay, we'll move on. We'll let all the other political pundits opine on what that means and if that's going to be permanent. But let's move on. We're keeping on the same subject here, as the president now sharing more details about the events planned for America's birthday party next year. A nonpartisan organization being created called Freedom 250, with a mission to showcase America at its best, including a new athletic.
We were better when he was the president. I said what I said.
Event.
In the fall, we will host the first ever Patriot Games, an unprecedented 4-day athletic event
An unprecedented. Wait till you hear it.
featuring the greatest high school athletes, one young man and one young woman from each state and territory. But I promise there will be
one young man, one young woman from each state. I know you motherfuckers can hear the Hunger Game reference. I know it. You hear it.
no men playing in women's sports. You're not going to see that.
And he couldn't wait to get the transphobic, turfy bullshit out of his. He's such a bigot.
You'll see everything but that. As I first announced in 2020.
Okay, well, if the announcement sounds familiar, it's probably because it reminds you of this.
Time has come to select one courageous young man and woman for the honor of representing District 12 in the 74th Annual Hunger Games.
Yes.
Okay, the Hunger Games at the White House, Homa.
Exactly. I am loving the levels of petty these young ladies are bringing. I'm pleasantly surprised because as a Fox affiliate, sometimes I forget that these are still independent stations, even though a lot of them are still owned by Sinclair Group. And a lot of us are saying the same thing. With everything that's going on, this is what Trump's worried about. We haven't even finished out this year of a shit show. And he's already planning to make next year's shit show with a little Hunger Games.
May the odds ever be in your favor? I mean, who is playing Katniss in this timeline that we're in? When you see this kind of stuff, again, people cannot afford rent. People cannot afford groceries. Childcare is through the roof. Like, everyone is struggling. And this is what we're... what are we doing here? What are we doing as a country?
Jacqueline, are you going to represent Baltimore?
I'm pretty sure we already have high school all-star football games, so I don't really know what makes this different. And my smile with that went to when they showed the Katniss clip. So, because I didn't really think about that until I put two and two together. So I don't know what's up with that. That's scary. It's all a little odd.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Trump said that he's 6'1" and 3.7% body fat, which is, of course, the same, measurements as LeBron James. And they have so much in common. I would love to see President Trump compete. I think that would be awesome. And I also look forward to the merch, you know. Maybe he'll sell some Trump-branded caffeine pills since he can't seem to stay awake. I'm on one today. I'm never going to be asked back.
The RFK pull-up bar. I'd love to see RFK Jr. and the president go up against. I mean, listen, it's all about making America healthy again.
I'd like to see RFK do a pull-up with his hands facing inward because everyone knows this is the easy way. So
there's an easy way?
Around, babe.
Listen,
Girl,
I need like 7 bands to get me like even halfway up. I don't even do a chin-up, so way better than me, at least for that.
Wow. Like I said, these ladies brought shade. I was prepared because, like I said, this is a Fox News affiliate, local station though, and they did not end up disappointing because it is ridiculous. It's ridiculous that he would name it the Patriot Games. And what's the point of this competition? It's going to be a reality TV thing, so more than likely it's going to be fucking scripted as fuck. They're going to handpick people that supposedly exude patriotism. It's going to be a mess. And with what we are all facing this year, when it comes to finances, when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to the price of groceries and rent, and this is what the President of the United States is focusing on, vanity project after vanity project, it's not even infuriating anymore because I know I didn't vote for this shit. And I know that I'm going to do my part in the midterms to try to alleviate some of his unlimited seeming power to waste our time and taxpayer dollars on this. Like his annoying announcement that he's reallocating money that's supposed to go to troop housing as a warrior dividend thing. Which, you know, he might get some dummies that think, oh wow, he really cares about the troops. He might even have some troops that don't question it, go, oh hey, look, we're getting a dividend check. But anybody who knows what's up knows that that money's coming from potential housing funds. And with the way he's done our military dirty, including just a couple of weeks ago, not even a month ago, when we were still in the shutdown, troops in Germany having to literally beg Germany to help them out with food. This is not a man that should be leading our country. But we have so many people who want to blindly follow him because they don't want to seem wrong. It doesn't even matter if their whole ass wrong. It doesn't matter if he spent all of 2025 wrecking our economy, terrorizing innocent citizens, calling for ICE goons to raid innocent places because they happen to have a governor who's a Democrat. He has been personally attacking reporters, everyday people, anybody who refuses to kiss his orange spray tan ass. And some of you are okay with this because you still think you're in a safe place. And when they're marching you through those ICE internment centers, like they marched the good Germans after World War II, when they're putting your pictures in MAGA hats in history books as a cautionary tale, all I can do is laugh. Because so many of us told you so. So many told you that you cannot put a blatant toddler narcissist in charge of the fucking free world. Because he will not keep it free. He will keep it under chains. He will commit atrocities. And trust me, when I get to the end of the year review next week, you are going to hear all the stuff that this man has speed run in a freaking year of an awful presidency. The worst presidency in American history as far as I'm concerned. At this point, I don't care if people agree. Trump will go down as the worst president in history. And as he tries to go after left-leaning sites, you mean sites that allow for actual free speech? You are going to see far more people call this shit out. Because you can't have free speech if it's only one-sided. I don't go after Truth Social, even though nobody goes on there. I don't go after sites like Twitter. I just yeeted my own stuff off of it. Because if you're going to host that shit, go ahead. I don't have to be on it. But I think it's hilarious how men like this want to do shit like this with no pushback. But like I said, it's okay. Things got to be this way for a bit. But every dictatorship ends up toppling. And it almost always ends up bloody. We're going to fire up this video from Anonymous, though, because today was supposed to be the release of the Epstein files. And as you notice, it's been a bit of crickets for some reason. And it's been a bit of we need to redact certain things which they were not supposed to do. So as we paint, you're going to hear from Anonymous News what's going on. And hopefully with me, you will feel as disgusted by these predator protectors in our White House currently.
Blessed be our new founding fathers.
We are anonymous. We have no faces, no party, no donors, no permission slips. We do not chase access or trade favors. We observe power. We map patterns. And when power starts bending the law to protect itself, we slow everything down and document every move it hopes time will erase. What is happening around Pam Bondi is not confusion. It is not miscommunication. It is not a clerical error buried in paperwork. It is the predictable consequence of aligning your authority with a man who treats institutions as expendable shields and loyalty as a one-way street. Donald Trump's system has always worked the same way. Never take the hit yourself. Place someone else between you and accountability. Lawyers, spokespeople, cabinet officials, agency heads. When pressure rises, he steps back, rewrites the story, and lets the damage fall on whoever believed proximity meant protection. That pattern is not theory. It is history. It is documented. It is archived. Pam Bondi believed the myth that loyalty would shield her. S, he believed that standing close enough to Trump would keep the consequences at bay, and for a while it did.
One of the things people need to understand under a dictatorship is it's every person for themselves. The only person the dear leader only cares about is himself. And the fact that you don't realize you're an expendable pawn, that your whole legal legacy will be as Trump's lapdog, I don't feel sorry for Pam Bondi. She knew what she signed up for, access to power that was never truly hers. And when she topples, no one's going to feel sorry for her.
Until it didn't. This story did not begin with a single memo or a single interview. It began years ago, when Epstein's name became a liability for powerful people, and the question shifted from truth to containment. The Epstein files were never just documents. They were leverage. They were risk. They were a test of whether institutions would prioritize the law or the comfort of those at the top. When Pam Bondi said the files were on her desk.
Pam Bondi and the Epstein list. Right back.
Releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
That moment mattered. It mattered legally. It mattered procedurally. It mattered historically. Because once you publicly acknowledge possession and authority, you inherit responsibility. You do not get to later pretend the files evaporated. You do not get to claim ignorance when the record shows acknowledgement. The law does not care about political convenience. Then the narrative began to mutate. Quiet briefings, carefully worded denials, sources familiar with Justice Department discussions confirming that Trump had been told his name appeared in the Epstein files. Then public statements insisting nothing credible existed.
President Trump was told by the Attorney General that he is in the Jeffrey Epstein files. He was told he was in the files 2 months ago, and then last week said, no, he wasn't. He was. This was during a briefing on the findings of the Justice Department's review of the documents related to Epstein. That's according to sources familiar with the discussion. Those sources said the Justice Department's review found that the files appeared to include several unsubstantiated claims that they determined not to be credible, including those relating to Trump.
Then memos attempting to close the matter entirely. Each step contradicted the last. Each attempt to bury the story required another explanation to justify the previous one. This is how cover-ups fail. Not with a dramatic confession, but with too many moving parts, too many contradictions, too many people required to maintain the illusion. Eventually gravity wins. Donald Trump has relied on delay his entire career. Delay exhausts opponents. Delay drains public attention. Delay turns outrage into background noise. He delays lawsuits. He delays disclosures. He delays accountability until people move on. And for decades, that strategy worked because institutions blinked. They chose stability over truth, compliance over confrontation. But systems rot when they protect individuals instead of principles. The rot always shows eventually. The memo that attempted to declare no further disclosure warranted did not stabilize anything. It exposed fear. It signaled that the department was trying to outrun a problem that refused to stay buried. When federal judges start pushing back, when court orders are defied, and excuses are dismissed as flimsy, the illusion of control collapses. That is when Trump's most reliable tactic appears. Distance. Notice what he did not do. He did not stand beside Pam Bondi and say he ordered the decisions. He did not say the buck stops with him. He did not say he would absorb the consequences, because he never does. Trump's survival instinct is simple. If someone else can take the fall, they will. This is not personal. It is structural. Trump's entire political ecosystem is built on redirecting risk outward. Loyalty is demanded upward, but accountability never flows downward. When the walls close in, allies are left exposed, and the law does not care about loyalty. It does not care about rallies. It does not care about talking points repeated on television. And this is where the warning stops being abstract and becomes unavoidable, because the alarm did not come from cable news speculation or online outrage. It came from Congress itself, from inside Trump's own party, on the record, with the law spelled out clearly enough that no one involved can later claim they did not understand. Next Attorney General will prosecute. Those words were not rhetorical. They were not hyperbole. They were a statement of legal reality. As House Democrats released dozens of new photographs from Jeffrey Epstein's estate, the context shifted instantly. These were not random images. Some included disturbing text and imagery tied directly to Lolita, the novel by Vladimir Nabokov, written on a woman's body. a novel centered on an adult man's obsession with a 12-year-old girl. The symbolism was not subtle, the parallels were not accidental, and the timing was deliberate. These releases came just ahead of the Justice Department's anticipated file dump on Friday, and lawmakers made something else very clear. 15 days after Friday's release, the Department of Justice is legally required to deliver a report to Congress listing the names of politicians and government officials referenced in the Epstein files. That deadline is not optional. It is written into law. Representative Thomas Massie stated plainly that if Attorney General Pam Bondi or FBI Director Kash Patel become involved in a cover-up by failing to comply with that law, the next Attorney General can prosecute them. Not hypothetically, not politically, legally, because there is no statute of limitations. None. This law does not expire. Time does not erase exposure. Delay does not provide immunity. Massie also addressed the growing misinformation surrounding the Transparency Act itself. House Speaker Mike Johnson, Massie said, falsely claimed that releasing the Epstein files would expose victims. That claim was directly contradicted by 3 federal judges, who confirmed that the law explicitly protects victims' identities and includes sufficient safeguards. According to Massie, Johnson's statement was not a misunderstanding. It was a lie used to justify non-compliance, and that matters, because when leadership misrepresents the law to avoid obeying it, intent becomes part of the record. Representative Robert Garcia reinforced the warning. The subpoena does not allow partial disclosure. It does not include an exception for ongoing investigations. It does not allow the Justice Department to decide what is convenient to release. The law requires everything. And if the department refuses, Garcia made clear that Democrats are prepared to go to court to enforce compliance. This is the moment where the usual Trump strategy fails. Trump can delay headlines. He can flood the media with noise. He can attack the DOJ, the courts, and the press. But he cannot change the statute. He cannot erase deadlines. And he cannot prevent a future Justice Department from reviewing exactly who had custody of the files, who ordered delays, and who refused to comply. That is why next AG will prosecute is not just a quote. It is a clock. Pam Bondi can survive the current political moment by stalling. She can hope Trump remains powerful enough to shield her temporarily, but Trump cannot protect her forever. A future Attorney General will not be bound by today's loyalties, and pardons do not stop investigations that begin later under a law with no expiration date. This is why Pam Bondi is now standing in the most dangerous position in Trump's ecosystem, alone with the paperwork. Alone with the record. Alone with decisions that cannot be undone. Trump will do what he always does. He will distance himself. He will claim ignorance. He will let others absorb the consequences. And when power shifts, the questions will remain. Who had the files? Who knew what was in them? Who delayed disclosure? Who misrepresented the law? And why? That is the legal reckoning being signaled here, not as a threat, not as politics, but as a matter of record. Pam Bondi has been put on notice by Congress, by the courts, and by a law that does not forget. When a statute has no expiration date, time becomes an enemy, not a shield. Every delay creates records. Every record creates a trail. Trails outlive administrations. That is why lawmakers started speaking openly, even Republicans. When a member of Trump's own party warns that the next Attorney General could prosecute the current one, that is not performance. That is recognition. Power shifts. Laws remain. You cannot pardon your way out of everything. You cannot outrun accountability forever. Trump understands this better than anyone. That is why his rhetoric escalates whenever consequences approach. The courts are rigged. The DOJ is weaponized. The press is corrupt. These claims are not designed to persuade. They are designed to intimidate, to make institutions hesitate, to make officials fear becoming the next target. But fear has limits. Inside institutions, people calculate risk. They ask whether shielding one man is worth their careers, their reputations, their freedom. Loyalty becomes a liability when subpoenas arrive. Silence becomes dangerous when records exist. And suddenly the incentives change. Pam Bondi is now standing at that intersection. The system she defended is quietly preparing to survive without her. This is how bureaucracies protect themselves. They shed weight when survival is at stake. Scapegoats appear when accountability looms. This is not about one Attorney General. It is about whether the Department of Justice exists to enforce the law or to shield presidents from it. It is about whether transparency laws mean what they say or only apply to people without power. It is about whether a movement built on grievance can survive contact with evidence. Trump built his brand on the idea that rules are for other people. That strength means never admitting fault, that winning means never apologizing. But reality does not negotiate with branding. Judges do not care about slogans. Courts do not care about crowd size. Evidence does not disappear because it is inconvenient. The Epstein matter matters not because of rumor, but because of process, because of custody, because of who knew what when they knew it and what they did.
And I'm going to add this. If there was nothing to hide, if he was as innocent as he tries to proclaim, release the files unredacted. But you know, because he was warned and he was told over and over again, your name is all over these files. Good, bad, or in between, which it can't be good because, need I remind you, Jeffrey Epstein was a child trafficker and a predator. So any association with this man is bad. And Trump knew this. But like I said, what you do in the dark often comes to light. And he's getting his reckoning. Whether he thinks he's too powerful for it or not. The reckoning is coming. And all you who stand behind him being predator protectors, you're going to look like fucking morons.
Did next. Cover-ups are rarely proven by the original act. They are proven by the response, the delays, the contradictions, the selective disclosures, the sudden urgency to declare the story closed. Trump's orbit is full of those contradictions. One day transparency is promised. The next day it is dismissed. One day the president orders review. The next day he claims ignorance. This is not confusion. It is strategy. But strategies collapse when too many people are required to maintain the lie. And the pressure is not coming from one direction. Courts are asserting authority. Lawmakers are invoking statutes. Journalists are connecting timelines. The public is paying attention again. That convergence is dangerous for systems built on delay. Trump senses it. That is why the volume is rising. That is why the attacks are intensifying. When the illusion of control fades, intimidation becomes the last tool available. But intimidation is not law. Noise is not truth. And repetition does not erase records. What happens next will not be resolved in a single day. It will unfold through deadlines met or missed, through documents released or withheld, through testimony given or avoided, and every choice will leave a mark that cannot be scrubbed away. Pam Bondi is learning in real time. The lesson Trump's allies always learn eventually. Loyalty does not buy immunity. Silence does not erase history. And proximity to power does not protect you when power retreats. Trump will survive by shedding skin. He always does. Former lawyers disbarred. Former allies indicted. Former aides testifying. The trail is long and well documented. Trump remains at the center, untouched while others pay the price. But even that model has limits, because eventually institutions remember their purpose. And when they do, accountability returns. Slowly at first, then all at once. This moment matters because it signals a shift. Judges enforcing orders. Lawmakers citing statutes that do not expire. Public officials speaking openly about consequences. The system is remembering itself. So watch closely. Watch who resigns. Watch who changes their story. Watch who suddenly claims they were never involved. Save the interviews. Archive the promises. Memory is power's greatest enemy. If you want accountability instead of theater, stay engaged. Share this. Talk about it. Subscribe. Because systems do not correct themselves without pressure. The truth does not surface on its own. It has to be pulled into the light. We are anonymous. We do not forget. We do not excuse abuse of power. And we are still watching.
Exactly. And once again, I want to thank Anonymous for all of their work this year, especially, but even beyond the years. They have always been the ones to stay on putting the spotlight on corruption worldwide. But now that America is literally under fascism, they are a much needed voice against a lot of this fuckery. And it's like I said, as I continue to paint Supergirl, that there are too many people that are already trying to give up, give in, say, what can we do? Ignoring the fact that until we allow it, we still have a voice. He can try to take things from us bit by bit, but if we fight him on the only front that we legally can, there is nothing that even this mad wannabe dictator can do. I know it seems impossible. Most of us only heard tales of fascism. Thank you. Good to see you too, Red Baron. Thank you for the lurk. One of the things that I say to people is there are people who've lived under fascist regimes. They can tell you that it's not going to be easy to fight, but you lose if you just give in. You lose if you don't use your voice to do the proper things. And we still have a chance in this fight. As I paint Supergirl, as I look at the fact that there are so many of us, women, children, people of color, LGBTQ of every ethnicity, wondering when they're going to try to do even more extreme things. Because they've already started and continue this culture war bullshit that they try to pin on us. But anybody paying attention knows that they are the ones that started this shit. They're the ones who want to be traditionally awful, who want to stoke divides when there doesn't have to be none, who takes us saying just accept that we're here, just coexist with people who are different than you, and we'll be all right as a threat to their identity. They're the ones who decry things like identity politics, where they're the ones so steeped in toxic cultural beliefs that they can't even accept a world where they're just a part of it and not the center of it. And it is because of this level of selfishness and stupidity that we are living under a fascist dictatorship. But we cannot give up or give in. I've always said the best way to fight fascism is to never let it take power in the first fucking place. But now that we're here, I will be damned if we allow this to go from a Patriot game spectacle to them being legally allowed to round up American kids to participate in such ridiculousness. It's unnecessary. It's a distraction. And Trump, as the fucking president, should have a lot more on his plate to worry about than yet another vanity project that he is treating like a fucking spectacle. I have warned people left, right, and center not to pay attention to this shit because that's what they want. They want us angry at these antics and not questioning why this man feels so comfortable doing crap like this when America needs an actual leader. We don't need theatrics. We don't need pomp and circumstance. We need somebody who can handle the fucking job. And this 79-year-old doddering snake oil salesman should not be leading us. Period. Whether some agree or don't, that's not, I don't care. I have been watching this entire year of nonsense, just knowing that any day it's going to get worse because they outlined it in Project 2025 and they speed ran it. And I know, like a lot of people who watch this or watch other people who have lent their voices to the cause, you're exhausted. It's not hard to be exhausted. Every day is a new low. Every day is a new attempt to degrade our image as a world leader. All behind a petulant child who has never been told no, and who, when he's told no, instead of accepting it, rages and takes it out on innocent lives. A man who's okay with kids being zip-tied in the middle of the night in a city that he's never really been to, that he only can use racist thought lines about. And I am sick and tired of the people who support him going, it's not about that. Why are you making it about that? Because it is about that. When he asks things like, well, why aren't Norwegian people immigrating here? Without understanding that their country is probably one of the nicest places on earth to live in. And why would they give up that for our shit show? Trump doesn't want to make this country better so that maybe he could entice others to consider it. No, he would rather shit on things and pretend he's not. And that's the problem with supporting somebody like this. That's the problem with people who want to blindly and loyally choose a man who wouldn't put them out with his spit if they were on fire, but are too stupid to understand that until it's too late. He has already wrecked our economy, and some people still go, oh, no, that was the previous administration. You can lie to yourself, but the numbers don't lie. When it happened, they didn't lie. These were the October through December forecast. The man in charge is Donald Trump. Whether you like to hear it or not, he's incompetent. A man who bankrupted several casinos. A man who, whatever he puts his name on, crumbles. And now he has been selling America off, bit by bit, to places like Qatar, places like the Saudi-owned UAE, all the while trying to call himself a peacemaker while turning our Department of Defense into Department of War with a fucking drunk who leaked classified documents on Signal. I'm going to document and talk about all of that on the end of the year recap. But when you just put it into perspective, all the awful that this administration has done, and it's only been not even a full year, but close to. All you can do is sigh with exhaustion. This year has not been good for any of us who struggle with mental health. The seasonal sads get to you. I went through a manic depression that I am not afraid to say because I've been open and upfront with my mental health stuff. And it doesn't help that every day it's a new level of stupidity. So like I said, I'm grateful to those girls that I opened up with for reminding people that these vanity projects are ridiculous. Even if you couldn't have made the connection like that one young lady, the fact that this idiot is literally ripping off the Hunger Games for his Patriot Day, the fact that they are going to take, and this was his language, take 2 students from each state to pit them together, pit them against each other. That is bigot logic. It's not going to be any transgender athletes, which I don't know any athlete from marginalized groups that should participate in this farce. But you know, you'll always have those Auntie and Uncle Ruckus Juniors that'll want to prove their loyalty. So we'll see. I don't normally celebrate the 4th of July. I think that until my people have true independence, true ability to live as citizens in America, that July 4th is just a farce. It's just cookout day for a lot of us. And that's how I'm going to treat it. But I'm going to see when the injury reports come out, because he's going to want a blood sport. He's a sadistic, disgusting old man. And we'll see how many loyals continue. Because this is a man who said he could shoot somebody on 5th Avenue and his fans would still love him. Yet they will open their mouth to call everybody else deranged, call everybody else cultists. Like I said on Tuesday, what he said about Rob Reiner after his tragic death and the death of his wife was disgusting, was unpresidential, was unprofessional, immature, and inconsiderate. Any other president would have been raked over the coals. Yet his sycophants, they turn their eyes, hold their ears. They don't care because they see themselves in him. And if that doesn't scare you, to see yourself into somebody who couldn't even spare kind words for a murder victim, who even if he didn't agree with you politically, was still a human being that contributed to society, you are just as disgusting as your dear leader. I've said the older I get, the less inclined I am to make friends. Because I now have to question any new friend, what their leans are. And it's not just those who openly voted for fascism. It's those of you who still operate under the idea that none of it matters. That your voice doesn't count. That people that vote are this or that. People that vote are trying to harm Reduc. We're trying to save ourselves from shit like this. So I don't have the energy or empathy for those of you who sit shit out and then want to complain like you deserve to. Because as far as I'm concerned, you're just as bad as those who willingly and openly vote for this. Point blank, I hate that I even have to lecture people at this point. But this is where we're at. This is the reality of our country right now. We are in the throes of a fascist toddler's complete meltdown. And the only way we are going to save ourselves, the only way we are going to survive this, is to remind ourselves of the tools in our arsenal that we can use to fight this. One of those tools is our voices via the ballot box and our vote. And the other is to continue to push where we can, whether it's protesting, whether it's ballot initiatives, these things that people think, oh, those don't really help, but they've never tried. All the ones that are constant naysayers, they are the ones that don't tell you they have never tried. It is important right now more than anything to use our voices wisely. To vote like our lives, our families' lives, and everybody else who depends on it. Because it does. It shouldn't take my old ass constantly reminding people of this. But I won't stop until we are back to normal. As normal as we can be after this. Because need I remind you, as new strains of flus come out, and there are still people not wanting to get vaccine or at least protect themselves properly because of their entitlement. As we go into an uncertain 2026 after a fucking disastrous 2025, that we are our own best protectors. No one's going to swoop down in a cape like Supergirl and save you. We are in save ourselves mode. And if you are not prepared to literally fight the good fight, and if your only recourse is to sit it out because everything's the same, you don't feel seen, it doesn't matter anyway. You are a waste of time. And this cast, and the host of this cast, is not for you. I don't care if people think I'm nasty for saying stuff like this. It's beyond time. A lot of people have this wake-up call. It won't stop with the people you think Trump is only going to target. Because a man like him only cares about wealth and wealthy people. And once he gets rid of all the so-called undesirables, you can bet your sweet ass. Those of you who think you're marked safe because your skin tone or your income levels are going to be in for a rude awakening. Trump is not loyal to anybody but himself. Trump does not care about anybody but himself. And the moment some of you understand that and get with the program, the better off we'll all be because we can fight together. But until that day happens, people like me will continue to call out shit as I can. For as long as I can, safely. But when I say it's hard, there are more days than not that I just want to say fuck it. This is what people wanted, let them have it. And I know I can't. Because if I do, men like him win. And so many good people lose. It is hard though. There are days where I am so exhausted just from the average news thing. Just from the breaking news. Because it feels like everything is wrong right now. And there's no way out. But when you give in to those thoughts, when you give in to the apathy of it all, that's when you really lose. So that is why we have to be defiant. Defiantly decent, defiantly strong, defiantly willing to use whatever tools we have to fight this tyranny and to get back to better. But we cannot do this shit alone. So if you are listening to this and you're sick and tired of the weekly, daily even, doses of bad news coming out of the White House, if you're exhausted with the prospects of what this man, who has already misappropriated funds, who is already raging a war of terror both here and abroad, do what you can these upcoming midterms to prove you understand the assignment. I am not going to stop saying this. I am going to make sure, especially on Tell It Tuesday, to highlight people who are running, what their platforms are, on both sides, because I need people to see how ridiculous Trump loyals are. We need to make sure that people like Auntie Ruckus in Virginia, who learned the hard way what being a black woman loyal to Trump will get you, when the dude didn't even want to say your name. Didn't even want to acknowledge you. But you were loyal to him. And what did that get you? A really resounding defeat for Virginia governor. And now that Youngkin's gone, I have full faith that the young lady that's replaced him is going to do a far better job than that Trump lackey. That Trump yes man. That guy that was so stupid to not close session and got Virginia redistrict. That's the one thing I will give to Trump loyal. I can appreciate how fucking stupid they are. And that how easy it will be if we keep at it to strategize against them. Because that is what we have to do now. That is the game plan going forward. Strategize, organize, vote. We can't afford to do anything but that right now. I want to get back to normal. I want to have fewer sleepless nights because I'm worried about what the fuck's going to happen next. I want to wake up in a world where human beings aren't being terrorized by their government. Because like that amazing line in V for Vendetta, it's the government that should be terrified of its people, not the people terrified of their government. Like I said, it is going to be busy, y'all, these next few days for me. I do have a Saturday YouTube stream planned, but it really does depend on everything I have to get done. I think with all the stuff I have to paint, I could go live, talk about certain things if I want. But it really does depend on my mood, because I really want to get a lot of this done. I am on crunch time to get these figures out so that people have them by Christmas. And I really don't want to mess this up this year, because my guildmates especially have kept me going. 2025 has been an exhausting year, a year of quiet acceptance of things that I cannot control, and of planning for things that I can. And I am really, really excited. As you can see, I've got a lot of Kara done so far. I am going to work on the flesh color of her hands and everything else soon. But I am glad that I've got this much done so far. We are mixing a bit of pearl paint with the blue and going over her stuff. I know her blue is normally lighter, but considering how this paint can sometimes fade after time, I went a little bit darker with the pearl accents instead. I think it makes things pop. Like I said, this is one of several pieces that I'll be painting all this weekend to get stuff ready for mail out. And it has been a lovely busy time. We've gotten boxes of stuff put out there in the French shop. We've gotten gifts done for just about everybody. Like I said, my mother-in-law's print just finished. It's a surprise for her, so I'm excited about that. We got my father-in-law's gift that I have to paint as well. Little Wile E. Coyote banged up with a health sign. Acne on the front. Wile E. Coyote Super Genius on the back. I am having so much fun with my 3D printer. And like I said, I am still learning the ins and outs of the Flash Forge. But I am looking forward to multi-prints because that'll help my business a lot more. There'll be a lot less having to switch out filaments There will be a lot less painting for certain things, even though I will continue to make prints that I can paint for the crafting chat. So you don't have to worry about that. This format isn't going anywhere anytime soon because it is relaxing. It keeps me going, and it keeps reminding me that even in the current shit state that we're in, there are positive things to look forward to. And I look forward to these Tuesdays and Fridays, even on days where I have to take a pause. I always feel a little bit guilty for putting my health first, but I know I have to. I know in the grand scheme of things, I can't be on here when I'm not feeling 100%. I can't be on here when I'm exhausted, tired, and irritable. I don't wear my mental health as an accessory. So when I am feeling a low or when I am feeling exhausted, I know it's better for me to take a break, collect my thoughts, and get stuff together. Now, I am hopeful Sunday we will have a successful DDO stream because I did all the updates I could for OBS, and it looked like it was running okay at first. I'm going to have to test it yet again because that Windows update, Windows 11, which I freaking can't stand, on my PC has been kind of a nightmare. It took away so much of my stuff. I had to redo all my Alienware settings and all of that stuff. It's been frustrating. But I do want to get back to regularly gaming on Sundays. And while I like StreamYards because the picture quality was nice, unfortunately, nobody was able to hear my guildies' voices. And as much as I want to run music instead, I know that we can say some pretty banterful things. And my guildies are already okay with being on stream. These are people I ran with for years. So they know I stream the game and they have been cool with it. So this is what we have done of Kara so far. I'm gonna tip it just a bit. Like I said, we still have parts to work on, and I am going to continue to work on it, polish up the base a bit more with gold and everything else. I will be back on Twitch on Tuesday for the end of the year special, and then I'm going to take some days off because Christmas is next week, and it's going to be busy time. I will be back maybe the day before New Year's Eve. Let me check the calendar really quick. Because we went downstate yesterday, so it has been really busy times. And it looks like, yeah, the 31st, instead of a Tuesday, I think I might move it to Wednesday and do a end of the year signing into 2026 special. So please look forward to that. But for now, y'all, I am going to wrap up this crafting chat. I want to thank you all for sitting in. This will be uploaded to YouTube. And hopefully I can get tomorrow's cast done. Like I said, it just depends on how much of these projects I need to get done still. I am pushing into overtime. I am going to be painting even after I stop this stream. So if I don't see you tomorrow on YouTube, I will definitely see you on Tuesday next week, right before Christmas. And then after that, I will be back on the Wednesday for the New Year's special, New Year's Eve special. Either way, I really hope that you have a lovely weekend. If I don't see some of you who like to lurk in the DDO stream on Sunday, I will see y'all next week. Thank you, Red Baron. Thank you, Solomon Isles, for your lurks. Thank you, everybody who watches the re-uploads on YouTube or who even watches it on Twitch. Every view helps. And like I said, after taking almost a full year off before coming back to this, it really is good to know that I can get back to the swing of things with a new format and really enjoy the content and having people still care enough to sit in on this. But I'm meandering. I'm going to wrap this up. Have a good evening to all of you who watch. Have a good weekend, and I will see you all soon.